Well, hi and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday, the 26th of June. I'm thinking that June is coming to a close before long. I'm Pete Connor, your host. Today's show is full of good information. We're going to have a full lineup of in-studio guests. First, we will have Fred Ventura and Ryan Gillespie from the Owatonna Human Rights Commission, and that'll be followed by Laura Resler and Betsy Lindgren from the Owatonna Foundation. As a reminder, we appreciate your input about what you'd like to see on Owatonna Today. So if you have someone or some people that you think deserve some recognition, or you have an event that would need some publicity, why don't you let us know about that by sending us an email at owatonnatoday.charter@charter.net or by calling the show's producer, Leanne T, at 390-5751. And now we're going to take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Ryan and Fred. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Giltvet.
And I'm Dr. Nick Vincelli of Horizon Eye Care.
We want you to see what you love and love how you see. We're proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
Connection, and a big welcome to Ryan and Fred from the Owatonna Human Rights Commission. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. Well, the Human Rights Commission has been ongoing now for a number of years and continues to thrive. Ryan, a brand new member, as I'm told,
Yes.
and I guess that's a good thing. Fred, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Ryan about what prompted you, aside from the question, would you like to, but beyond that, what was inside of you that said maybe this would be a good thing for you to do?
Thank you for asking. It must have been about a year ago that I did learn a little bit more about the commission, and I've known Fred for a few years now, and he reached out and asked if it might be of interest to me, and that he had spoken with Mayor Tom Kuntz, and they were both on board that I might be a good fit for the commission, and so I picked Fred's brain a little bit to learn more about what that would look like and what the mission was and how it would fit in with, I guess, what I believe is important to Owatonna, and it definitely does. So,
and you talk about that belief, that belief system, that plays into it. Kind of a bullet point or two of that. What is it inside of you that would say, yeah, this would fit my profile, if you will?
What I'm gathering is that education to the city of Owatonna and surrounding areas is very important in regard to cultural diversity. And I think education is always very important. Being a mother of a 9-year-old probably pushes that home a little bit more too. But I just think the more that people are understanding the differences that kind of bring us all together, it's pretty important.
Sure. And Fred, mission, I think, goes back, to those days of the founding of the commission, and talks about that education. It talks about outreach. It talks about understanding who we have living in Owatonna. For your part, you've been involved in the commission now for how long?
I'm on my 4th year now, going to my 2nd term.
Okay, very well.
And I've served in different roles on the commission.
Okay. All right. Speaking of education, when you came on as a member 4 years ago, 2nd term, what sorts of things has the commission been involved in to help the community have a greater understanding, as Ryan was alluding to, of diversity and of ethnicity, of the changing human landscape that we have here?
One of the things we try to do as a commission is outreach. We actually go into the community, meet different people, make them aware of the Human Rights Commission. You'd be very surprised how many people have no idea that there was a Human Rights Commission here. And we would visit various organizations, businesses, and promote the Human Rights Commission. And we would help individuals whenever we could.
And that kind of help, centers on what sorts of things?
people in the community would come to us with various problems, and it's really basically more educational on our part. We're not a law enforcement body, but we can help individuals and steer them to the right resources where they need to go. If they come to us and there is something we can do, we will help them immediately. If not, we will escalate it to the next level. And there have been some issues in town that have been brought to our attention, and we would meet with the appropriate people, and we would escalate it appropriately.
Okay, so yeah, in a big way, I guess the D word, the discrimination word, comes into play here.
Discrimination, hate, prejudice. Our function, I would like to think, is that we meet with the people and try to take that fear away. You know, we are all a nation of immigrants, and we all have to get along with each other. And me personally, I will go into various places and get out of my box of comfort level. I graduated from the Blandon program, the Blandon Leadership Program. That's one thing they taught me is get out of your comfort level. Go somewhere where you feel uncomfortable. Make friends, make the outreach, and that's what we try to do very hard. One of the projects we're coming up with is a mural, a very big diversity cultural mural that we are in the process of meeting with artists, get their input, and then we're going to meet with the community, get their input. How would they like to see the community mural? The Park and Rec has been very gracious. You know where the blast is?
Yeah, sure.
The walking path by the blast has
Big wall.
approximately 15 panels. And we're going to take up maybe 3 to 4 panels and paint a mural. So right now we've been meeting with different artists, both locally and out of state, to try and see, this is our vision, this is what we want to come up with. What do you think?
Those panels have already been accustomed to some artwork
I know,
over the years, but this will be different than that.
Yeah. There will be a way, I'm hearing from Park and Rec, to make it graffiti proof.
Yeah, good. Ryan, you know, we talk about this discrimination issue, or, you know, so-called human rights. In your work, I know that you as working for an institution, a lending institution, as an example, a financial institution, you need to be very aware of what it is in terms of your mission, if you will, of always treating people with some, you know, I guess it's the respect that they deserve when they come into your place. That's got to be a carryover to the commission. Might be good foundation for that.
Yeah, absolutely, I think so. And it is regulatory, but I was lucky to be raised that way. It's it's human nature. It's what's appropriate to do, and I think it's just inane.
Yeah. Do you think, either of you, do we have any sense for groups that are kind of counter to your mission? You know, people who might be more, I don't know, hate group is maybe strong, but let's just say that, you know, that have those kinds of feelings, those kinds of expressions in town?
I'd defer to Fred on this one.
Good.
Not really. I've never come across a group per se. You know, what I've come across, we've recently had a young lady come visit us at our Human Rights Commission meeting, and we've invited her back several times. And one of the comments she made to us was she felt we're not a very diverse community. And she's been living here 4 years. And she pointed out her reasons why. So we're trying to work with her to show her, well, you know, we really are a diverse community, and we are getting better. One of the things, I don't know if anyone notices, but the big LED billboard when you come into town, we have our diversity messages on there, and they come up like every 8 seconds. So we have 2 or 3 diversity messages. And as we get closer to Martin Luther King's birthday, which is one of our biggest events, you'll be seeing that diversity message about Martin Luther King.
Good. Okay. And let's go back to education, because that was kind of one of the bulwarks, if you will, of the commission. What sorts of things are you engaged in to help the community understand more about our social profile? I'll leave it open for either of you to.
Well, the social profile, we try very hard at our commission to have members, first of all, who are diverse on our commission, and we've accomplished that.
Diverse in the context of their
The membership.
ethnicity or their cultural background, et cetera.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we do try very hard to be diverse in that area. And we do, I think by the cultural messages that we put out, that it gives a community an idea that we are diverse. And we do get the cultural message out. It's just a matter of education every single day, meeting with people all the time, changing some of the thought processes, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah, I think in the early day, we used to use the words, being different is not bad. Because we're all different in some way, from others. Yeah.
We're more alike than different.
Yeah, aren't we? Yeah.
We are.
Right. I remember talking with Dr. Dornfeld about genealogy and that we're all like 97 or 99.7% the same, from a biological perspective. So, yeah. So, last thoughts about things going forward in terms of mission, in terms of objectives.
One of the things the Human Rights Commission is working on, we actually throwing around the idea of bringing a welcome center to Owatonna. Okay. And it's going to be a very diverse welcome center, so we are working on that facet. And again, the Bureau project, that big project we're working on, I think that's going to be really nice. The community is really going to love that when we get done. Sure. Because we're going to get their input. Yeah. They're going to tell us what they like, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Ryan, any other thoughts coming from you of things that you'd like to see?
I again, as I'm learning more, and I'm new and fresh to the group, but I want people to be aware of the group, and I think that that's very important. And in different organizations I'm involved with, I'll certainly
Very
let them know.
Well, best wishes to you, and certainly Fred, to you and the whole commission, and appreciate your time coming here this morning to tell us about that. And so, best wishes, and see you again.
Thank you.
And we'll be back after we have a few messages from our sponsors, and so please do stay with us.
Recreational fires are allowed within the Owatonna city limits. They must be contained within a fire pit or a device designed for such use, and can be 3 feet in diameter and no more than 3 feet high. They must be 25 feet from a building or combustibles. Only untreated or unpainted woods must be used. Fires must be attended by a person at all times that are capable of extinguishing the fire. This has been a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Hi, I'm Betsy Lindgren from the Owatonna Foundation. Your generosity has made Owatonna a better place to live by benefiting our community, the arts, recreation, and education. Please consider a donation today. The Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
At Triumph Graphics, we think beyond ink. That's why you should make us your source for creative concept, design, print, mail, and web. Check us out today at triumphgraphics.com.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and a big welcome to a couple of ladies from the Owatonna Foundation. You are ladies. Laura Resler and Betsy Lindgren.
Good morning.
Oh dear.
Always surprised.
We're up for another one. Let's see right now. Oh dear, heaven help us.
Oh.
Well, there's always something to be said, and if there isn't anything to be said, you will still say something. I know the both of you are of that kind, but Always something important coming out of the foundation, and one thing that we want to, because it's kind of the season, it seems, grants and for educational grants. I know we've been reading and hearing some things about that.
Yep,
and
grants and scholarships right
scholarships,
now.
yeah.
Right. In fact, we awarded 9 traditional scholarships to OHS seniors back in May. And so that was wonderful to have those students get $1,500 each. Annually, we award $30,000 in scholarships. Plus, now we have the Melanie Nelson Scholarship for Women of Diversity or Single Mothers, and that's another $3,000 a year. So it's quite an extensive program. We're in the process now. The 25th was the cutoff for the non-traditional students. Those are students going back to school that have been out of high school for a while, and it's for technical and vocational training, nurses, plumbers, electricians. So we're going to be reviewing those scholarships coming up in another week or so.
And I just think about that, how important it is, because we've talked, and you in your, is it former life?
My former life. I've lived long enough to have a former life.
The delta that we have with people in trades, that we just don't have people who are skilled, and so this has got to be a good springboard for some people.
And I think Betsy can speak to top team, and she was involved with the foundation back then, and how that program kind of went away, and now there's kind of a demand for that type of education again, and manufacturers are constantly looking for skilled workers, and the health industry. There's never a shortage of need for X-ray technicians and lab people. So
and it's all good work,
exceptional work.
Yeah, and it pays well.
And with good careers, etc., and places to be, advancement in careers. Yes, it's a shame. I know there's a group that's together now that are trying to put back together a top team program, apprenticeship program, which is wonderful because it's necessary. It's necessary in any given community, I believe.
Sure. Are those non-traditional scholarships on their way? Did you say you have yet to?
We have to
name
review
the
them. The application deadline was the 25th of June, and so now we'll get together in the next couple of weeks. Jill Holmes is our scholarship coordinator. So she'll get everything ready to go, and then we have a committee that sits down and reviews all the applications.
How intense is the application process for the kids?
Oh, it's relatively simple.
Is it?
I think there's what we've heard is there's some hesitancy from students to apply for scholarships. Well, if you think that you spend maybe an hour doing an application and you can get $1,500, I said we need to start explaining to these kids how much money they can earn in an hour. Really to look at that. Because it's the minimum grant or scholarship that we give out is $500, and it's been up to $3,000 in some instances.
Sure.
So it's a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
A lot of the scholarships, are asking the forms and applications are asking for a short essay. Usually they'll ask for a short essay, and you know that. And I think that if parents and or counseling centers would work with the children to even do one, because if you just like writing grants, if you've got a template, ahead of time to be able to do that, the application process cuts itself in half.
Yeah, exactly.
So it should not be that extensive for the students.
They are putting themselves out, and they're not going to change from one application to the next.
Right.
next.
You can pretty much copy and paste things into another application.
Right,
so
exactly.
it's pretty straightforward. It's not like years ago when you had to manually type.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Right. Yeah.
Remember writing.
20 carbons. That's how old we are.
Is there how popular are the scholarships and the grants?
I think very popular. It's we're constantly trying to make more people aware of the scholarships and the grants. It's education is what we are as part of what we try to accomplish and do. So. Both for scholarships, grants, and also for fundraising. The more we can get the word out about what the foundation is and does, the better off we're going to be for everybody.
Right.
How much impact or influence, or let's say at least play, does the local school district have, the counselors and such, to help with this?
We reach out to the counselors. I know Jill has done that, and then we've even had a few teachers have the students fill out the applications in class as part of their classroom work. So. There's a good relationship there.
Good, excellent. Well, back to the
grants?
Traditional.
Oh, the traditional. Okay.
Those people have been named?
Yes, and don't ask me to name them.
Okay, no, I won't. You said 9. I think you said 9. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, there were 9, and then we'll be getting a press release out announcing that.
Very
too.
well. Well, we'll wait for that. Beyond that, other things that go on at the foundation. Betsy, we talked about, before you came, Laura was telling about strategic planning session. And you'd be in the middle of that, I would guess.
Well, actually, we're at the tail end of it, which is wonderful. We had the opportunity to work with Diane Amundsen from Amundsen and Associates. She took us through the steps in creating a plan. Actually, we had a rough draft of a plan already, so that was nice because it was a springboard to be able to work with. From there, she worked with the executive committee, and then we just recently had our full board meeting and had the plan approved. Lots of input from the input and engagement from the trustees, so that's always a good sign. And I think we're on our path now to be able to continue to achieve goals each year. And with that also, we have now 7 committees.
Yeah.
7 committees. A new one was just created. It was called the Development Committee. And one of the things that we put them in charge of is to take a look at and explore new ways for people to reach their avenues of giving for people to reach their charitable goals. And so we're pretty excited. We've got 2 new funds coming out that we're introducing in the next month, which is the non-endowed donor designated and the endowed donor designated. Not donor designated, interest, area of interest.
So in other words, specific to a cause and
Yes.
or non-restricted, restricted, non-restricted. maybe
Exactly.
the other way. Okay.
That would be a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
For example, one was when I know Express, we applied for the $10,000 grant, and we did it to support the We All Play playground project.
Okay.
And so that would be included in the field of interest,
Right.
a non-endowed field of interest.
Okay. So when we talk about development or fundraising as it is, how today, because I'm sure it waves, it kind of ebbs and flows. Today, how is fundraising? I mean, how healthy financially is the foundation?
Well, I think we're doing remarkably well, and comparing 2016 to 2017, we are at 500% higher with donations coming in this year than we were a year ago at the same time. So obviously people are happy with what we do and excited to donate. So and we're excited to
Exactly. The
help
capacity of giving has been so wonderful
wonderful.
from this community, just absolutely phenomenal from this community, especially for the size. And we are at approximately $5 million, which is the halfway mark to get to our 10 million, which is our goal, 10 and 10. So 10 million in 10 years, which would allow us, the reason for having that, it would allow us to give approximately $450,000 a year in grants. Imagine what
Mm-hmm.
the community could do with $450,000 in grants.
So the interesting part of this is, that if I use myself as if we give, we're really giving to us.
Right.
Exactly right. It is the community foundation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got it.
and I think
We're making progress.
well, I think sometimes people think, well, I don't have enough to give, or I'm not,
Right.
in the same category as some of the people that
Sure.
make these larger donations. Every donation is valuable and makes a difference.
counts. Huge.
And it's a way, if you like for myself, I don't have the resources to give thousands of dollars, but what I give goes into a bigger pool and has a better effect overall. So it's a way, and a lot of people will just always send us their memorials, maybe $5, $10. Other people maybe make $100 a year donation. It's all important to the bigger picture.
It all collects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, talking about the board just for a bit before we close up. Board. How many people on the board of trustees?
There are currently, we have up to 35 members. There are currently 33 members. Someone was gone. Oh, it was me. 33 members that are on the board of trustees, which actually, comparatively speaking, for other foundations and doing research, et cetera, exploration, there's a lot of trustees. But we feel very good about that because it covers, we believe that it's a cross-section of the community. Which is great input. I mean, these are the stewards of the community's money.
Sure. And so therefore disciplines are represented.
Exactly.
You've got people coming from all places. And a full complement currently, or are you looking for folks?
We have 2 positions that
Yet to
we're
be filled.
currently looking to fill.
Okay.
Yes.
And those you would like to have done sometime yet this year, or you have an
They'll be filled this fall.
Okay, very well, and then get moving. How often do you meet? How often does the board meet?
Well, it depends.
It depends.
The full board meets twice a year, in the spring and in the fall,
Right.
or the summer and the winter, I should say, December and June approximately. Then you have the executive committee, and the executive committee meets 4 times a year.
Sure.
And then each one of the committees that are there meets a certain time of year, depending on their demands and the responsibilities that they have in doing so. So a trustee can make about, if you're going full board on a couple of committees and you're on both the executive committee and obviously the full board, you'd have about 18 meetings a year.
So there's a commitment.
There's a huge commitment.
Yeah,
Huge
well,
commitment.
we
So I
have
do
to
want to say thank you to all those
Yeah,
trustees.
really, all of you, you 2 certainly, and all the others, a big thank you on behalf of the community, because it's, we would not have what we have if it were not for the Owatonna Foundation.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for being here to help us know
Appreciate it.
more about that. And thanks
Appreciate
to
your
you for
time.
being with us. Yeah, it's always fun.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks to you all for being with us. We're going to now take a few minutes for some word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connections. Some community announcements for you now. Penny George Institute for Health and Healing at the Owatonna Hospital has expanded its retail services by adding healing touch and wellness coaching. To learn more about the programs and services at Owatonna Hospital's Penny George Institute Outpatient Clinic, visit alinahealth.org, or to make an appointment, call 507-977-2828. Movies in the Park coming up July 14th on Friday at Brown Park, a rain date on July 15th at Central Park. The movie will be The Great Outdoors. It will begin at sunset. Pre-movies activities will begin an hour before the movie time. I'll put that onto your calendar. The 7th annual Weekend Out, July 14th through 16th. Check their website for more information, but a lot of things happening coming from Parks and Recreation here in Owatonna, July 14th and through the 16th. Wine, women, and golf for the very beginner. I just think about, are they going to have wine before they go? Anyway, for the beginner or non-golfer at Brooktree, call to register 507-444-2467, and I think that'll take care of it on community announcements. Please come back now on Wednesday because we will have Pam Roberts from the OPD highlighting Community Night to Unite, and then on location with Luann Coppa at the Library Garden. Have a good couple of days. We'll see you back on Wednesday.